Hello again from your friendly disabled person whose wheelchair got taken away by Delta. So even though I talked about this a few times on my channel and across social media, a lot of people don't seem to know that I am an ambulatory cane user and an even more ambulatory wheelchair user, mostly at airports. So I just came back from a work trip in Los Angeles. I went to the premiere of season 2 of Could You Survive the Movies because your girl is in the Quiet Place episode. Thank you. More on that in the future. It was all a very last minute thing. Literally, I found out about the premiere a week before it was gonna happen. That's when we got the invitations. And so I was just scrambling to try to find flights and stuff, the cheapest flight. And I figured since YouTube flew me in via Delta when we went to go film, and I actually had phenomenal wheelchair assistance service when I went, I was gonna go book with them again. But that really didn't happen. And really, I just blame Salt Lake City Airport, I think. Charlotte service in Atlanta for me is top notch, and going into LAX and leaving LAX, at least for me, the accessibility is not the worst at LAX. I'm just talking about the accessibility there though. I'm not talking about the whole airport in general. But on the way back, flying out of Salt Lake City, actually both times I flew into Salt Lake City and had a horrible time with wheelchair assistants also screaming into my ears. Because I had deaf on my ticket, this guy thought it was a good idea to come this close into my ear and start screaming in it, even after I told him to stop, and he just kept on doing it. I thought nothing could stop that. But flying out of Burbank, going into Salt Lake City. First, I got stopped on a plane and had to wait 15 minutes because the wheelchair had not arrived yet for those of us who needed it. So we sat there for about 15 to 20 minutes waiting for our wheelchairs, which made me very anxious because my connecting flight was boarding very soon, and we would have to go to the other side of the airport, and the Salt Lake City airport is a maze. It's so huge, oh god. But then finally the wheelchair comes. I'm ecstatic. I have my cane. I'm gonna get up. And I don't understand. To this day, I still don't understand what happened. A passenger with chronic pain and chronic fatigue. My legs are in pain, my feet are in pain, my shoulders and my back are in pain. I have a really heavy bag on my shoulder and I'm trying not to fall over with my cane on me. And the two flight attendants make it known, hi, this is the person you're going to wheelchair over to the other gate. The guy acknowledges it. He sees me coming out of the plane and getting myself ready to sit in the chair. But for some reason, he turns around and goes off with the wheelchair. I'm very confused and I'm standing there for a second. Like, you're gonna come back, right? Like, you're moving out of the way, even though we were the last two, I and somebody else were the last two people on the plane. But he just leaves me, and this guy's a little bit younger than me. He looks a little bit younger than me. So I stand there confused, thinking maybe, okay, eventually he's gonna come back to me, but he just keeps walking. I mean, you know how there's like two little other ramps that you have to watch out for so you don't trip up or trip down them? He would take the time to bend over and point to it as if I don't have eyeballs and don't use them and don't realize that, hey, that's there. But he sees me struggling. I am struggling. I'm very tired. My feet hurt. My back hurts. This heavy bag. He just keeps going and I'm like, why are you taking this wheelchair from me? And he never tells me. So here I am, bent over, walking, trying to get up there without making too much of a fuss. And we stop, and he still doesn't let me sit in the chair. I'm visibly tired and exhausted, like I put everything down, I'm like bent over, and I'm like, grabbing my shoulder because I'm in pain. He's still just like, whatever, I don't understand. And then he's making me wait there at the gate for a little bit. I'll give him one thing. He was there with the deaf accessibility. He was typing at his notes using speech to text on it. But then he also sees me, leaning against this big old pole, and I still don't get it. I still don't understand what's going on. But then he has the audacity to come over and say, okay, so I'm not allowed to leave this concourse. That part's fine. I'm not gonna, that's fine. I'm not allowed to leave this concourse. Can I just give you the directions to your gate? Or do you really need me to give you the wheelchair and take you over there? Wheelchair assistance is on my ticket. It's on all of my tickets. I waited on that plane. For an extra 15 minutes. Yeah, I need the wheelchair, buddy. Like, I'm sitting here wondering, what exactly do you think wheelchair assistance is for? It's not because I don't know where to go. It's because I am in pain, and I'm not going to be able to make it all the way from here to the other side of Salt Lake City Airport, up some stairs or wherever to get to my gate in time, because I had to wait 15 to 20 minutes already, and the plane was going to start boarding in 20 minutes, and that is why I, a disabled person, need a wheelchair. So I was just looking at him. I was so furious at that point. I mean, I was already mad, but then I was even more mad. And I was just like, yeah, I need a wheelchair. It's on my ticket. I have a cane. I've been wanting you to give me this wheelchair already once I was getting on the plane. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Why are you asking me this? And then finally another girl comes over. It's the same questions. Do you need me to take you there? I'm just sitting here like, for the love of God, it's on my ticket. I'm still here. If I didn't need you to take me, I would have been gone already. It's honestly mind-boggling to me. And then thankfully she takes me to my gate, and I was on Twitter tweeting about this directly to the airport. I was sending videos of Snapchats to my friend ranting and ASL. So I think she probably had a feeling that I wasn't in the greatest of moods. Shoot, every once in a while she's asking me if I'm okay, and I'm just like, no, it's not your fault, but no, I'm not okay right now. The employee from Salt Lake City to Burbank yelling in my ear thinking that was gonna do anything for me as a deaf person. That was one thing. That was just more annoying than anything else, although might have busted my eardrums and given me tinnitus again for a little bit. But this, taking a wheelchair away from a disabled person, you don't do things like that. Especially not even telling them why. Like, I don't know if he was ever trying to communicate with me on why he was just taking it when I was like, hey, come back here. That's ableism at its finest. And then you have the issue of airlines breaking wheelchairs that are owned by their disabled passengers. That's an even bigger issue that's been talked about by other disabled people. That's been going on forever. You can't take away a disabled person's legs. I don't care how young the disabled person looks. I don't care if they walked from the very front seat of the airplane over to where the wheelchair is so you can wheel them up. It's on their ticket. It's been requested. They waited for you to come meet them so that they could be taken to the gate, and you're just like, well, no. Like I said, I did tweet the airport, and they responded to me saying something along the lines of they were going to give that feedback to the company that provides the service, and I'm just like, I got the name of the guy. If you could just talk to him and talk to all of your employees, because that's who you need to talk to. But at least the actual trip in Los Angeles was fine. It was great. I had a good time, and we'll talk more about that later on in about a week or two once my episode airs. So I will say this. I am, going to fly directly to the airport I need to go to. Is it gonna cost a little bit more? Oh yeah. But is it gonna be worth it? Oh yeah. But if it comes to the fact that I have to connect somewhere because I just don't have the funds to go direct, I am never, ever wanting to go through Salt Lake City ever again. That would not be worth it. Doesn't matter how cheap the flight is, not worth it. So, to my fellow disabled wheelchair users, let me know down in the comments if similar has happened to you. I'm sure it has, but we're gonna ask anyway. Let's have a conversation down below in the comments. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet to the channel, so that way you will not miss out on any future conversations when it comes to accessibility and travel as a disabled person. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and I will see you later.